You're listening to the Live, Lift, Play podcast, powered by the Brand X Method, world leaders in youth strength and conditioning. Hey guys, welcome to the Live, Lift, Play podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Kinsella, and today I have none other than Mikki Martin, co-founder of the Brand X Method. And today's podcast is powered by the Brand X Method, and we are hoping to bring at least two podcasts per month to you guys for everything to do with youth's development, mental health, fitness, strength, and just answering questions and trying to get the word out about helping kids move more and be more confident. So Mikki, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
No problem at all. So unlike other, I know you've been on podcasts before, and it's always the general kind of like, well, give us your background. We know like you're co-founder of the Brand X Method, but we're going to get into the more specifics now. And if you want to know anything more about Mikki Martin, we will have the links to the website in the show notes. So you can click on the website and you can check out everything she does and other podcasts that she's been on. But for today, we're going to talk about the importance of play. And I've been to your seminars more than once, and you take the lead on the part on this talk about play and its importance, and that's why we want to kind of delve a little bit deeper into that, if you don't mind today. And for people that don't know, why is play so important to our education? To our children's education?
That's a huge question because it is because it is so important. It covers so much. But there is a lively research community on the subject of play now, and I bet your listeners have been seeing articles popping up. It's becoming much more mainstream that people are realizing how important play is. And primarily what we're seeing is social development. So we look at the movement side, obviously, and we'll delve into that later, how it affects movement development. But even more globally, play is a form of social development. If going back to early researchers looking at animals in play, that's what they were observing. What are they doing? It's practice at survival. So whatever a living thing needs to survive, that's usually what you see in their play. Now, if you think about humans not playing, then are we not practicing what we need to survive? And that's kind of a giant question, right? What's happening? What are we missing out on by not playing? It's so important to social development for children. Just some very basic reasons is if you think about some kids playing, they're just, in a little mob running around, and they say to each other, hey, let's go grab that rock over there, and then let's throw rocks at that wall. Or they get tired of throwing rocks at the wall, and somebody says, hey, let's throw the rocks over the wall. Let's see if we can move back 20 feet and bounce the rocks off one thing and then over the wall. So they're experimenting the whole time.
Yeah. But
not only are they experimenting, they're working together to come up with rules, because there are no rules. Free play exists in a wonderful space where no rules are in play. So they are able to create those rules. Well, what that does is it allows anybody at any time to say, I don't like that rule, I'm leaving. So what does that mean as far as cooperation goes? If you want to keep playing, you've got to keep everybody happy. So you've got to learn to listen to everybody's viewpoint and make adjustments to keep the thing going. So that is just one aspect, but there are so many aspects of social development that occur while playing and through play that it's being found to be a serious problem in the mental health of our youth now, that they're not playing as much as they used to, and in some cases not playing at all. And we're finding.
Sorry, and why do you have any understanding? And I know, like, say screen time, but why would children be playing less now than we were back? Like, so when I was younger, and yourself, we, like, as you said, like, we used to like run and, like, again, pick up a rock and throw, and then see if we can throw from 20 feet further. What is, I know the kind of the millennial or whatever kind of, but from your point of view, and you've worked with kids for so many years, you've seen trends happen. Why are we playing less, or why are our children playing less?
There are multiple reasons. The emphasis on heavy academics and earlier and earlier, bringing academics down to pre-kindergarten levels and saying we got to focus on heavy academics. That obviously means something else has to go. First thing has been rest and physical activity. So that allows for less playtime within the school environment. Obviously, the obvious bad guy in this is tech. People are always pointing to tech. Kids have all this tech. And it's not so much the itself. I think we all have to recognize that going forward into the future, that's not something that's going to disappear. Tech is here to stay. Yeah. Kids are going to use tech. They're going to be involved with it. It's got some addictive qualities. All those things are things we need to know about. But more importantly, it's what we're not doing, not what we are doing. So it's not the fact that they're using tech. It's that they are not playing. They have something else that's occupying their time. So it might be tech. It might be sport specialization. It might be they're in one single sport and their coach requires them 4 hours a day to go do this single sport, that they basically sit all day and then go hit their single sport, and they don't have time for play, and that people didn't understand the importance of it and are not prioritizing it. So our job really is just information, get the information out there so people can make informed decisions about how their kids spend their time.
Yeah. And like with that, then obviously with, as we see with a lack of play, and as you said, like it could be, it's multifaceted. So it could be education, it could be sports, it could be like, again, technology. Then what are, like with the Brand X method, what are you finding then when you get kids that have all of this? Like what's happening? What's the consequences of this missing play as they age?
We do see signs of it, but more importantly, what's on a really global scale, there are articles and research out on what's happening really to millennials. I'm sure your listeners have heard about anxiety, depression, suicide, and the levels just skyrocketing, and everybody's scrambling to go, what's different? And there's so many things that are different. It's pretty hard to pin one variable and say that's the thing. But what we can do is say, what do we know is positive about play? And then when we see it not happening, what are the results of that? So one of the things, primary things that play does, and I alluded to this when I was talking about wildlife and survival, is it's about adaptation, right? Yeah. So because during play, you have the opportunity to improvise. True free play provides opportunity for improvisation. So we talked about the rocks. So we're throwing the rocks, and someone else throws a baseball through the field of where the rocks are, and the rock shoots off. And now we go, oh, okay, let's see what happens when it's another different type of object. What happens? And each time we do something different and unexpected or unique in a play scenario, we're learning. And we're learning to adapt to the unexpected. Now, if we're doing that every day with a group of friends, we're out there playing, maybe we're playing a game that everybody knows. We're playing football or soccer. And it's really super muddy. And then we're playing on a pitch that they're working on. They're putting some sprinkler lines in, and so we have to leap over these gullies. So different unexpected things happening cause us to adjust. They cause us to learn that we can deal with the unexpected, and learning to understand that we can deal with the unexpected on the fly lessens anxiety when something new occurs in our lives, and we're able to problem solve. So what they're finding as a direct result is kids who aren't playing experience anxiety when something new or unexpected occurs because they don't feel like they know how to problem solve for it. Kids who have a play history they've experienced so much unexpected and unusual circumstance through play that they don't have that feeling that they can't address a new problem. So and then anxiety builds on itself. There's social isolation from a lack of play, and cooperation that happens when you're working with different people, creativity. So it's a big deal. The level of anxiety and depression is a really big problem. And so what we can do as coaches is how do we get play? How do we get true free play versus directed play, which would be sport, where there are rules and timelines and whistles and coaches, and there's stressors there. Something without stressors, and just out with my friends running in a pack, and we're doing whatever we feel like doing, no timeline, no adults. How do we get the beauty of that and all those positive things into something that what we do is directed, right? You've got kids in your gym, there is a timeline.
Yes.
You've got some rules. They can't start throwing tomatoes at each other, right? So you've got to have, how do we fit that in?
Yeah.
So that as coaches, as a program for kids, and trying to do what's best for kids, we had to figure out how we stuff those beautiful things that come out of free play in, so that we're helping kids understand how to experiment, explore, and adapt to new situations.
And that's one of the things that you promote in the seminars and the PYCC course, is allowing time in class for just, okay, kids, go play. Obviously, because you're in the gym, there is some boundary rules, as in like, don't touch that or jump off this, but generally like go play and just figure stuff out. And again, you've said it, but it also, like, kids are building resilience through play. And you're building resilience, and as you said, then you're able to adapt and handle what life throws at you. And I do believe, like, I strongly believe, obviously I'm a follower and a fan of the Brand X method, and we've worked with you for studied under you guys for 10 years that I've been kind of since I first met you guys. And what I found is that with our kids that we've worked with, we've helped them unknowingly to us. We've helped them overcome obstacles in school, confidence in playing a sport, confidence in social aspects, and it's very rewarding as an adult to be able to do that. But it's also scary that due to play and being, as we said before, it's only one aspect of it, that kids are building anxiety, depression, and then the worst case scenario is teen suicide. And like we spoke about in our last with Jeff in the last podcast, like, injuries are a norm. We don't want anxiety and depression to be the norm. It's all, well, it's anxiety. Sure, everyone's on anxiety, or suicide, God forbid, becomes a norm. It's like, oh, well, there's someone in every school that does it, because that's where I fear it goes. And then it's like, well, then where do we end up? What generation are we creating? And I think with Brand X and with play, firstly, and promotion through the Brand X training centers around the world, is helping kids to understand that, yes, play is important. It's helping parents to understand that they should want their children to play. And I know it's harder in these, you can't just like send your kids out and say dinner's at 5 and they'll come back in, because you have to know where your children are at every time. But there's such an importance to it. And I think that, as far as I know, and from anything I've ever done, is that you guys are the only ones that have promoted play as part of one of your major factors when it comes to being educated by Brand X or the PYCC. It's
we just felt like we couldn't. Where it came from really is just the obvious. Our history with the development of CrossFit Kids. When we were working in CrossFit Kids, that was obvious to us, and it's been said 1,000 times or maybe 1 million times, that kids have to have fun, right? They're not going to come back to do hard physical work unless they have fun.
Exactly.
So that was sort of the basis. Well, kids have to have fun. And then we started to see coaches misinterpret the idea of fun into being silly.
Yeah.
And we realized, okay, that's not We weren't saying be silly to keep kids there. We were saying be playful. So we started looking into, well, who are the people that really know about this subject? And, Dr. Stuart Brown is known as the father of play. He has a TED Talk, which is spectacular. And it is titled, Play is More Than Fun.
Yeah.
And I just started looking at that, and then just led down the path of all these minds and the theories of play and research that's going on, and saw, wow, play actually has a very specific definition. Free play means something very specific, and it has these neurological results. So when we're in a state of play, we learn better. We retain memories, and we retain. The memories are longer lasting, and they're also what they call stickier. So that means that anything we're doing while in a state of play, movement or experimenting or social interactions, those are things we're going to recall better forever. So there are other really important aspects so far beyond the idea of fun and engagement that we just kind of started rolling with learning more and more. And unfortunately, because of the anxiety problems that are popping up, more research is being done. So it was just the timing kind of that we started looking at that, and then started hearing more and more about the downside.
Yeah.
The kids that aren't playing and all the things that are happening. So one of the ways that we can use that idea of play and get those great neurological results, as well as BDNF, the miracle growth for the brain, as it's called, is released during a state of free play. But as soon as you introduce a stressor, it stops. So if we go to one of the real differences between free play and directed play, or what we would think of as classic sport, is that classic sport has all those stressors: timelines, whistles, coaches. I'm worried about how the team's going to view me. Will I pull through for the team? I have to wear a uniform. Every little thing like that adds up to be another stressor. So the potential for the release of BDNF is reduced. And the potential for the release of BDNF, miracle growth for the brain, is fantastic when you have free play. So how do we put that in our world? What we do is we use an interval free play. Or sometimes we just say, hey, your game at the end of the day is movement solutions. And what I mean by movement solutions would be something like, here's a bunch of stuff you can run around, jump over, crawl under, push across, swing over, swing onto, do what you want.
Yeah.
And let the kids get together, figure out their rules, what they want to do, let them play, let them experiment. Exploration and experimentation lead to the adaptation that lessens later anxiety about problem solving. So we want to give them opportunities to explore and experiment very specifically. And that helps us as coaches, because that's movement stuff anyway, right?
Yeah.
So we really have this beautiful window where we can go, we want you to move, but we want you to do it while exploring, experimenting, and with other kiddos, right?
Yeah.
So you can learn.
And that's like, I like that aspect of what we do with the Brand X method, and what we do here at FSM is that there is a part where we kind of go like, let's go, just kind of mess around, or we give them a challenge and like, right, you have to get all of this over there in this order or this way. And then just like, as you say, like if there's too many stressors, the growth hormone with BDM, was it?
BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
BDNF.
BDNF.
The full link of what that is will be in the show notes. But yeah, like as we see is like when kids start playing sports and start getting more serious about their activity levels, not their play, then it starts to impact on them. And in what you've just said, you've kind of literally answered the two of the three questions that I had left. So we have one more question. And that is, how can a family unit introduce more play into the home? Because there's a lot, like how can we get parents to start introducing the art of play, whether it's free play or some like kind of like constructive play. Like what would people kind of look towards? Would they look to their Brand X Center, or is there stuff they can look at online, or is there videos they can watch? I know there's a lot of questions there, but where would the family units start? Let's leave it at that. Where would the family start if they wanted to introduce more play?
So what I would say to that, where should you start? Think about what you enjoy. Think about what you enjoyed as a kid. What intrigued you? What did you want to do for no reason, no purpose? What was inherently attractive? That's one of the definitions of free play, is something that's inherently attractive, but doesn't have purpose. It has to be purposeless, voluntary, and something you just want to do. So everybody has that thing, you know? Like I heard somebody recently say they wanted to learn how to luge.
Okay.
They just wanted to, you know, just looks like fun to me. I'd love to try that. For me, it was those giant plastic balls that people get in and run. And
Zorbing, I think it's called. Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. I have no reason. It just looks like fun. So I know people have that, right? If you think about it, what is this fun thing that you never got to try? Or do you find that when you're walking around outside that you hop up on, if there's a small wall that you just naturally, if you're talking with your friends, you'll hop up on the wall and walk on the edge of the wall. If you do that, then you're playing. You're out there going, hey, I want to try and experiment with this thing. So if you can find the thing that motivates you, or a group of things that motivate you, and talk to your family about it. Let's go try something fun together. What do you guys want to do? What motivates you? What's the thing that you really want to go do? I also think it's very important. It is good as a family unit to demonstrate the excitement and joy of just doing something for no reason.
Yeah.
And not always having purpose, and understanding that provides sort of a mental break for everybody, but incorporating other people, other families. So once in a while, get out with another family and what do we want to do? Or also just unusual games. You know, you can make up your own stickball with a foil ball instead of baseball with a baseball. Then all of a sudden everything changes. People are learning, having fun, make up the rules as you go. Getting outside is a key piece to it. There are also a lot of positive neurological benefits just to the fact that you're outside. So they say that will add levels to what's going on. As far as sites to look at, there are so many. The biggest one I would say take a look at would be nifplay.org. Okay. But there's also a museum in the States called The Strong, which is based on play, and they go into just many aspects of the play. Very interesting content there on that. And then there's a TED Talk and lots out there from a young man named Charlie Hone, who is a millennial, or maybe even slightly older than that, who experienced massive anxiety and sort of went down the road of why am I feeling like this? Sat down, read Stuart Brown's book on play, and just changed his life by becoming playful. And he has a project called Recess, the Recess Project, and that is actually geared toward adults. Yeah. And getting adults to remember what play is like and how it makes them feel, and getting it back into their lives. So there's a lot of information in there as well. So if you're looking at a family, and sometimes people are very reserved about it because they've grown up with this, you know, everything's about work and hard work. Yeah. And believe me, I definitely believe in hard work, but there's balance, just like everything. There's a real balance, and the mental benefits of play just can't be skipped. So if you have somebody who's really reserved, that's kind of a good place to start, is another adult who says, hey, look, this changed my life.
And it is good to get outside your comfort zone. And one of the things I would say to people when they say like, oh, like I can't motivate myself in the morning, I said, and they don't want to meditate, they don't want to do that. I said, well, what's your favorite song? Like it could be MC Hammer, Can't Touch. Just get your headphones in, get up before everyone else, and dance around your living room and I guarantee you, until he finishes that song, you're going to be laughing, you're going to feel silly, you're going to release so much endorphins, and you're going to actually start your day off really good. And then eventually there's like, you know, like laughing's contagious. So if your family walks in with you dancing, especially my son will laugh at 100%. Susan more embarrassed, but you know, she knows what she signed up for. And then I'll put those names and those websites in the show notes again. So like for more, if anyone listening to this and wants to know more about it, but from the Brand X methods, because that's pretty much the questions. You kind of nailed most of my questions in all.
I might have read ahead.
That's okay. That's okay. It's good. It's good. But for anyone that wants to know more about Mikki Martin and the PYCC, the Brand X method, and what they do to help youths, it's thebrandxmethod.com.
Yes, and
yep.
And our Instagram, which is just at the Brand X Method.
Yeah.
There's a lot on there, and you can always DM us right off of Instagram as well.
Yeah, and they'll get back to you. Like, they're not one of these companies that don't respond. They actually respond, which is good. Well, they respond to me, so I'm going to say that they're going to respond to you.
We try to respond to everybody as fast as we can.
They're very good.
We want to do the best we can for kids, and if people are out there interested in that mission, then we're there to talk to them.
Cool. So guys, firstly, I just want to thank Mikki for being on the show. Hopefully we're going to have her on again. The purpose of the Live, Live, Play podcast powered by Brand X is to talk more about specific aspects of working with youths. And as I said, we're hoping to have this coming out every 2 weeks, have a show for you guys to listen to. We're on YouTube, Spotify, and we're on Podbean, so please like and subscribe to the show. And if you have any comments or if you have any questions about working with youths or if you're a coach and want to become certified, or you just want your child to start moving more and understanding their bodies more, then definitely check out, listen to the podcast, ask me the questions, and I'll give the information to the Brand X if I can't answer myself. And again, this resource is to help as many families move better and make exercise a part of their way of life. So guys, Mikki, first, thank you for being on the show. And guys, we will see you soon. And we are done.